What do you think of the fields that we have now?
The fields have greatly improved since I first got here. There's still room for improvement, but we're headed in the right direction.
Okay, if we got new fields, what would you want and what would you think of them?
If we got new fields, just like anybody else, anything and everything that you can get as new is great. Basically, if we could lengthen our dugouts and get a more enclosed field, I think we'd be headed in the right direction.
Okay, thanks.
They need some upgrades. There are definitely some concerns that we have with them with water retention and just casual wear and tear over the years. Whenever I was a senior is whenever those fields were first established, and I had a hand in that, and that was a long time ago. There definitely needs to be some upgrades with the concessions in the parking lot areas with drainage of water and just some primarily health concerns. But definitely need some upgrades.
Okay, and if we were to get a new field, what would you think about it and what would you want?
What would I want? Is money an option here? Is this like a fantasy question right here? I think the biggest part would be upgrades in a press box area. There definitely needs to be some improvements as far as the playing field is concerned, due to water drainage and buildup that is taking place on the field right now. The parking lot area being gravel and with its slope, we've had some major problems with flooding in the past. And parking ties and just some general upgrades, but concession stand and field house maintenance areas are probably the biggest decaying factor that we have out there. The birds have taken over, but yeah, that would be my primary, would be taking care of the field, general improvements with seating, make it a little bit safer, and then of course the lighting issues that we're having problems with right now.
Okay, thank you. What do you think about the fields that we have right now?
I think the fields we have right now are a little bit outdated and probably need to be upgraded.
What do you think about getting a new field?
I think they're definitely needed.
Okay, thank you. What do you think of the fields that we have now?
I think our current softball and baseball field, I would label them as adequate, maybe above average. I've definitely seen some that I think we've got better facilities than, but I know we can make improvements. You're going to see some of those this year, and foul poles for both places that are going up, and then we've got a new scoreboard for the softball field. So we know there's some shortcomings out there, but we're working on trying to improve those facilities. You're going to see some of those this year. The playing surface would be next. I'd like to see improvements on the playing surface. You know, it being level, and then I think at that point, concession stand, bathroom areas, you know, needs to have some improvements there, some upgrades. But I think I would call you in our conference. I think if you look at well, Farmington used to be in our conference, but Prairie Grove, Gravette, they've really upgraded their baseball, softball facilities the last few years, and I think it's kind of put us behind a little bit in that area.
Okay. If we were to get a new field, what would you want and what would you think of it?
When you say new, I'm assuming we're talking new ground, new piece of land somewhere else.
Yes.
Are you saying I could have anything we wanted? You know, we could, if the sky was the limit, you know. I know the turf fields are something that you're starting to pop up and see in baseball and softball, especially the outfields. You know, it would be awesome as far as maintenance, and then just the treatment and care of the facilities. If we had something that was turf, I know that cuts down on a lot of the maintenance out there, and then the wear and tear on it. You don't ever have to worry about it being wet, you know, or practice time or playing time. So I think if there was a wish list and price was not an option, I think anybody looking at baseball, softball now, I think they're leaning more towards turf outfields as well.
Okay, thank you. What do you think of the softball fields we have now?
Our softball fields are really old, and they haven't. We've had minor improvements throughout the last few years, but pretty much they've been the exact same. And so we're lacking a lot. We don't have any like real concession stand. We don't have any like the dugouts and everything. It's just old and outdated.
Okay. If we were to get new fields, what would you want and what do you think about it?
I really think that we should get new fields as we're updating all of our facilities. It'd be a really good thing for both the baseball and the softball program. But I think that we need to definitely amp up the field itself, make sure that we have the dirt and the good grass, because our grass tends to not grow out there. We need to pave the parking lot and have like a commons area so that we have enough storage and a concession stand and good bathrooms that people aren't kind of grossed out to go into. And then whenever we build our bleachers, we need to move it off the road so that the visitors can actually sit on the visitor side. So
Okay.